I am Dracula.
Oh, it's really good to see you. I don't know what happened to the driver and my luggage well, and with all this, I thought I was in the wrong place.
I bid you welcome.
I bid you welcome. Hi, in this episode I am talking about Dracula. Let's go. Hi everyone, I'm Anthony with the Nerdy Harry channel, and this is the 31 Days of Horror Reviews. Now we're in day 8, episode 8. In this episode I'm talking about the 1931 horror classic Dracula, starring Bela Lugosi, Edward Van Sloan, and Dwight Frye, just to name a few. Now Bela Lugosi, this was not a new part for him to play Dracula. Bela had actually played Dracula a couple years before on Broadway. And so what was interesting is that really the rumor was that Bela wasn't originally cast to play Dracula for the movie version. Supposedly they really wanted Lon Chaney Sr. to play Dracula. Now if that name sounds familiar, Lon Chaney Sr. obviously is the father of Lon Chaney Jr., who went on to play the Wolfman. So Lon Chaney was kind of the monster guy in Hollywood at the time, and so they really wanted him to play it at first, but unfortunately he got cancer, passed away, so they had to find somebody else. But anyways, that was just a rumor that was thrown out there. What was interesting is that supposedly Lon Chaney was going to bring a different take to it. He was going to be more on the Bram Stoker's Dracula, based his Dracula more on that than Bela Lugosi did. Bela Lugosi's Dracula, what I like about it, it's more eccentric. He's very seductive. You know, he doesn't see you as male or female. He sees you the same. Victims, blood, food. So I love Bela Lugosi as Dracula. He had said later on in his career it was both a blessing and a curse to him. You know, he is Dracula to this day. You know, I don't think anybody has really come close to playing Dracula better than him, and I'll stand by that. I think he is the best Dracula of all time. Now, I mentioned earlier Edward Van Sloan, who's in the movie, plays Van Helsing. Now, Edward Van Sloan was actually in a couple of the other Universal horror monster movies. He was in Frankenstein, he was in The Mummy, so, you know, I think it's cool how he was in the other movies. I like to see that when the movies are all kind of connected with that regard of being the monster thing. Also, Dwight Frye, who played Renfield. Now, Renfield's my favorite character in Dracula. He's like just a normal real estate guy who goes to meet Dracula, and he's supposed to get Dracula to sign the lease to come to London for a place he's going to get, Dracula's going to get. So he has to go to Transylvania to get Dracula to sign these papers. Now, Renfield's just your normal, ordinary guy at the beginning, but he definitely takes a different turn because obviously, as you'll see, if you haven't seen it, here's a spoiler. I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, spoiler. But Renfield actually gets bit by Dracula and becomes his slave to Dracula and kind of does his bidding. But I love the way that Renfield or Dwight Frye played the character of Renfield. It's just very maniacal, and his laugh that he does when they first arrive in London, when they find him on the boat, is just, it's great. It's it's really great. And so actually here it is. Let's check it out.
Why, he's mad. Look at his eyes. Why, the man's gone crazy.
I love that laugh. That is so cool. How Dwight Frye did that and played that Renfield character is so great. And like I said, he's my favorite character in the entire movie. He just does such a 180 in the movie from the beginning towards, you know, a little bit into the film. It's so cool to see that transition. Anyways, there's so many other things I like about the movie. I love the feel of the movie, the black and white, just the darkness of it. The sets are amazing. I mean, Dracula's castle, when Renfield is at Dracula's castle, I just love the main hall, when Renfield and Dracula are going through their papers for the lease. I love the basement, or whatever you want to call it, where the coffins are. It looks so cool. And one of my favorite scenes is actually, and I love the giant staircase that Bela, walks down as he meets Renfield at his castle, and actually has one of my favorite scenes. I like how he goes through the spider webs, and Renfield's looking at him like, wait a minute, how come he just walked through here and they're still here? But one of my other favorite things in the movie is actually at the very beginning in the credits is Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake from the ballet. Now I know you're like, oh wow, song from a ballet, but it's perfect for the movie. It's very creepy, very eerie, and actually, if you'll watch The Mummy, it's in the opening credits for that movie as well. So they understood that this is a pretty cool little, pretty cool music for our little creepy movies. Okay, guys, if you haven't seen Dracula, you obviously were like Tom Hanks and have been stranded on an island for, I don't know. Let's see, it came out in 31, so probably 85 years, I'm assuming, something like that. So why have you not seen Dracula? And, if you haven't, find a way to watch it right now and appreciate that classic. If you have watched it, you need to watch it again because we got Halloween coming up, and this is the perfect time to watch Dracula. Now, one thing I want to throw this in there real quick. I thought was so cool. I found out that originally there was an epilogue to the movie where Edward Van Sloan, who played Van Helsing, comes out and kind of says some things to the audience to kind of say, hey, kind of a warning. Since you're probably, if you were creeped out by the movie. What's really cool is he's actually a part of my other favorite scene in Frankenstein, where at the beginning of the movie he comes out and he gives a warning to the audience. And I'll get more on that when I do the Frankenstein review, which I cannot wait for. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for your support. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I can't wait for the next one. See you next time. Bye.
Just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Just a word before you go. We hope the memories of Dracula won't give you bad dreams. Such just a word of reassurance. When you get home tonight, and the lights are turned out, and you're afraid to look behind the curtains, and you dread to see a face appear in the window, well, just pull yourself together and remember that, after all, there are such things as vampires.